Hi, everybody. This is Laura with Stuff I Find Interesting. Today is, what is today? The 13th? Is today the 13th, the 14th? I lost my job on Monday, so time has gotten a little weird, which is what happens when you become unemployed and suddenly lose your schedule. So it was through no fault of my own. It was a sad thing all the way around, but from a business perspective, it makes sense. Even I can see that. So it's time to move on. I think I already have a job, but I'm not sure. Not sure. Anything could happen, I think. Yeah, anything could happen. But I feel very strongly. And it would be really great if I got this job because it's less than 2 blocks that way. Like I could literally like roll down the block and like get there. So that's very appealing to me to be close to home. I'm just kind of a homebody anyway. That is Argentina. The song is Blood Red Sky, and I like it a lot. So maybe subscribe to them so that they have more than 3 subscribers. I mean, even I have more than that, and they seem way more talented than me. So, well, we got a big lineup today, huge lineup, lots of interesting stuff. I've been like, with the extra time. Although I will say, and this is my old person advice to any young people watching, when you lose your job then becomes to find a job. And that's just the way it's got to be. It becomes, what can I do? Or how can I better my skills? And you make that the priority. You wake up, you get dressed like you're going to work, and you look for a job. And that's your job until you get a job. And yes, it's exhausting. Yes, it's dehumanizing, but it's got to be done, right? Got to pay the bills. She works hard for the money, so hard for it, honey. Okay. I always say I'm going to come back to that next week, and I never come back to that. So this time I'm actually going to come back to that. So last time we talked about the Tibetan Lung Gompa runners. These are the runners that, after this vigorous program that they go through, and program's the wrong word, but they can literally almost run on water or levitate as they run and run for like 24 hours straight. And I'm not exaggerating, that's what the texts say. I looked and I looked and I looked to see if I could find any like examples, and I couldn't really, but I have found some more information to talk about. So it's an esoteric skill that is believed to enable practitioners to run for extended periods of time. It's used by the Kyogo monks in Japan and practitioners of Shugendo. So they're also known as Tibetan marathon runners. It's a form of spiritual training. It involves intense training, including the repetition of mantras and breath control exercises with the aim of achieving a heightened state of consciousness and pursuing spiritual enlightenment. Legend has it that practitioners of Longompa are able to run for extended periods of time covering vast distances in a single day as a result of their training. So it starts out, you got to seclude yourself in a cave for 3 years. So I thought to myself, well, I don't really have time for that. I don't think, but let's keep going. So the practitioners engage in repeated leaping upward from a cross-legged sitting position without using their hands. So I got my yoga mat, and at least I thought I had my yoga mat. All right, I'm going to sit on the floor, and I'm going to see if I can jump up without using my hands. Okay, this should be exceptionally interesting. All right, Long Gompa, here we go. All right, I'm getting on the floor. Okay, I'm on the floor. All right, now I'm supposed to get up. Oh shit, the cat has come over. I'm supposed to get up without using my hands. I'm supposed to leap up. Here we go. answer is I cannot do that. And I probably should not do that ever again. Okay, I apologize. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I figured if I could do it on camera, that'd be pretty cool, but not today. Maybe another day. I'm just starting my training. So, since that's Frank. Frank, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Stand up. There you go. All right, this has the super intense training, and it will be in the link. So if you think that you want to kind of do this, this is a kind of the way to go. And I actually downloaded this book, and I'm doing some of the exercises, and they're actually pretty helpful. So what this really is, in my mind, is embodied yoga. So what embodied yoga is, you're very conscious of your body and how you're in your body and what your body's doing and where it hurts and stuff like that. So, since none of us have time...
Hey there, welcome back to a new video.
And this is a guy who talks about how to train. But this is the one I wanted to talk about. So, there's a thing called the 5 Tibetan rites that if you do daily, it's supposed to enhance your energy and make you feel better. And I was like, I think I could do that. It's 5 yoga poses, basically. So the 5 Tibetan rites are, let me move myself out of the way. You move, lay down, put your legs up, kind of do a crunch. Do a back stretch, get into position, do a table stretch. Those are hard for me. I have really tight shoulders. And upward dog stretch with kind of a cobra thing. So, for those of us who don't have 3 years to spend in a cave, or really any time at all, this is a good way to start. Come on, you can come over. Come on. So, when I was working, my guy was working from home a lot. And stop molesting Frank. Come here. So he and the cat got like really freaking attached, and now he's working more so that he can like fill in the hours that I'm currently not working, because we're a team. And the cat is just bereft. She just does not know what to do with herself. So the other thing I said I was going to look up was this guy, because I saw this guy and I said, check him out. Yeah. And I said, he's probably good with the ladies. Not so much. He was a painter. He was a very talented painter, and he was known for capturing candlelight. Like that was his thing that he was very, very good at. Oh, it's getting hot in here. But he had a very bad temper, and he was just not very nice to deal with, apparently. So, not good with the ladies, from what I could see. This is one of his most famous works. You might have seen it, you might not have seen it, but you can see how he masterfully captures the shadows, the glow of the candle through the hand, the tilt of the head. Very masterful, but not a ladies' man. This is the other guy I said I'd look up when we were talking about, what were we talking about? Magicians or the occult or some nonsense that I always talk about. And we came across this guy's name, and I said, let me look him up and see what he did. Maybe he's a cool guy. So he said that the second coming would come in the form of Maitreya, the world teacher. Maitreya is the name Buddhists used for the future Buddha, but Cream claimed that Maitreya is the teacher that all religions point towards and hope for, as well as the head of the spiritual hierarchy on earth. So then it goes on a little bit, and he starts to think that he's been assigned a mission by his master. And he comes out and he says that he's been contacted telepathically by his master. And he starts spouting all this stuff that the master is saying. Then at the end of this whole Wikipedia thing, it comes down to he declares himself the master, but he himself is not necessarily the master. The master is working through him. Yes. And there's some stuff in here about UFOs, which is intriguing, but it's not really worth bringing up. However, I was poking around and somehow I ended up here, list of islands in the Seychelles. And the thing that I thought was interesting, I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, is like you go to an island like Picard Island. Here's that aerial view of, I think the island's tucked in there behind the clouds, but there's only 12 people that live there. Like, you must get so sick of each other, right? You must be like, oh my God. I would imagine it's very hard to get supplies. And you might say, well, where's the Seychelles? The Seychelles are in, God damn it. Oh, today I found out that my monitor is basically crooked and doesn't stay straight. So if I'm a little crooked, it's because I haven't fixed it. I really do have to get out. I was just here. I really do have to get out a level and make it kind of straight. So where are the Seychelles? Oh, the Seychelles are right here. So if we pan out, we've got Africa, Seychelles. There are some areas in the Seychelles that are known for their opulent hotels and resorts. So a lot of celebrities will stay at various places in the Seychelles that cater specifically to a certain crowd. That crowd probably being like billionaires and like very high, mid to high millionaires or people of note. I'm not sure how this got in here. I was looking up bog beads from Ireland, which is oak wood, which has just been sitting in a bog for like 3,000 to 5,000 years, and then they take it out and they cut it up and they turn it into beads. And it's a hardwood, sort of like a teak, because it's been seasoned by all the chemicals and the stuff and the mud. And I came across this, and I didn't mean to save that. Oh, it's not that. It's an ad. Oh, I hate when they do that. This is called a fire rainbow, and it's a phenomenon that happens when the rainbow is literally right in front of you and fills the whole sky. And the whole sky becomes the rainbow. I would love to see that. That sounds like a really amazing moment. So then as I was looking at that picture, I was looking up optical stuff because I love looking up in the sky. And then I learned about moonbows, that you can have a rainbow at night. And not just necessarily the ring around the moon, like the little tiny one that you sometimes see, or that I noticed. Like, you can actually have a full-on rainbow. And I thought that was very interesting. Here are some more photos for you to enjoy of moonbows. This would be known as a full moonbow. Okay. Now, this is interesting because sometimes I save stuff and I have no idea why I save it, and that in and of itself becomes interesting. For example, La Fourche Parish in Port Fourchon, Louisiana, effects of the outer continental shelf petroleum industry on the economy and public services, part 1. How did I end up with that? Why did I download that? What was I thinking? This is the other thing that I downloaded, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is gravitational shielding research, 803 pages. It's gravity-defying devices. It's like really outdated kind of articles. It's freaking wild. That's actually more explainable because I was probably in conspiracy land and came across this. However, I will say that it does seem as though there have been people that have come out with technology that's very close to anti-gravity propulsion, and it's been killed by certain people that want to, use it to make money off of, basically. If you see smoke, I'm burning incense. My place is not burning down. So this week I learned about the Kuktani Tripilia culture. And they were around from 5500 to 27 BC. They were located in this particular spot. They made beautiful pottery. They were just gorgeous. But the thing that's really interesting about this culture is they made beautiful cities, and then they every 60 years they burned the whole city down. This is obviously a stylized kind of image. Here's a totem of them, where they're located. This is kind of the location of where it was. Kind of makes you want to go in there with a like a, what do you call those fucking things? A metal detector, and find some stuff. Anyway, they burn their whole city down every 60 years. That's what I found interesting. Like, okay, so that maybe it was symbolic, ritualistic. And it wasn't because they moved, because there was one place where there were 13 layers of cities. They burned the city, 60 years later, burned the next city. Very strange. Oh, man. I'm having issues. I'm having issues, guys. What did I do? Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Sorry. I'm like hollering. I lost it. I don't know what I had up. It does not matter. We shall move on. This is Katya Kinazeva's scrapbook, completely random. I think I was looking into the history, the early history of what is now today China, but I was trying to look into the past, and then I got sidetracked and was looking at old pictures of Shanghai, and particularly I find interesting the border between Russia and China. Like, we don't think about that too much. Like, I feel like there's more there that I should know or could know. These are just old photos for you to look at, but there's some gems in here. And then this got me to this, which got me to this. So let's go to, let's go to Zhao Street. That's not the one I was looking for. There was one that was more like traditional-ish looking. Yeah, look at that. That's very cool. But you can look at all these different streets, and I find that really neat. There's not a lot of stuff that comes out of. I feel like there's just such a rich history and archaeology and culture in China that is just walled off to everybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm being morbid. Let me stop. Okay, let's look. Okay, we got some funny news coming up. Let's do some funny news. My cat is currently sitting in front of me because she's being petulant. She thinks I stole her man or sent him away or something. I really think she thinks it's my fault. That it's like I'm doing it. Melbourne man armed with instant coffee fights off would-be carjacker at petrol station. This guy said when he was interviewed, I think most people should probably hand the keys over, but I'm sort of not one of those people. I can relate to that. I would fight too. In fact, my guy will say to me sometimes, he's like, if something happens, because we live in a neighborhood it's a little dodgy. He's like, if something happens, run. And I said, yes, honey. So yesterday I go downstairs. Excuse me, I have to like clear my throat. It's just like, it's fucking bothering me. Hold on. Okay. We're good. So I go downstairs. I forget for what. And I hear yelling. And I look inside the store that I'm about to go into. It's like a bodega. And I see these two guys get thrown up against the window. And the whole window like bulges out. And I hear yelling. And everybody's like, ah! There's like 20 people in there. There's like a big old brawl. Stuff's getting knocked down. And so I just stood there. I did not run. And I just turned to the person next to me and I said, so I guess this means I'm not going to get my stuff, huh? Okay. I'll come back later. And I went back later. So it was Nescafe Blend 43. So I guess that has a nice heft. I always say that if someone, it's down there. Next time I'll show it to you, but I have this thing and I always say that I would use that as a weapon. Like if I was sitting here and I hurt somebody, like that's the thing I would grab. And it's this glass paperweight, and it would be absolutely lethal if you hit somebody in the head with it. There is a club that very, very rich, elite young men belong to. It's called the Bullingdon Club. And they do things like destroy entire hotels or mansions that they're staying at, just completely to like there's absolutely nothing left. And then they just pull out their checkbooks for the damage and hand it over. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Interesting, right? Just a couple days ago, usually my interesting list, like the stuff I'm going through, is stuff that's a couple weeks old, but this is actually recent. This is like yesterday, and I went, oh, this is interesting. So there's an island, or not an island, but the Kwajalein Atoll. This is the Kwajalein Atoll. I'm probably mispronouncing it horribly. It's part of the Marshall Islands. You might know the Marshall Islands as islands where we meaning the United States, there's the Marshall Islands, conducted tests back in the just before after World War II. Was it after World War II that we did the tests there? I'm not exactly sure of the timeline, but this is a place that's very far away from everything. However, it's not totally remote. There are islands that are populated. If we zoom in, we can see, okay, maybe not there. Where did it go? Ibadan. No, I did. I saw like civilization. So not like a whole lot. There's some stuff going on, but it's really the bottom of this where all the action is. If we go to the bottom of this scary looking thing. I never want to go to any of these islands ever, 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 ever. The thought of being surrounded by that much water freaks me out. I don't know what it is. I can't deal. When I was in Okinawa, Japan, the only thing that kept me from going crazy is that it's not like too far away, I guess. Also, I was young. I didn't care about nothing. This is the base. Buchholz Army Airfield. Probably not a whole lot to do. I mean, this is this is it. You probably swim a lot. Probably fish a lot. There's a wreck in here. You can kind of see it. So, why did I bring this up? There's a Reddit thread. Not that one. That one. There's a NOTAM. A NOTAM is notice of, I don't know what it stands for, but it's the government saying, stay the heck out of this area. We're doing shit, basically. So there was a NOTAM that was released that said, for your safety, overflight of the island north of the RWY is prohibited. This is considered a hazardous area with a potential for loss of life. All arrivals and departures must make south traffic only to avoid extreme radiation hazards. Now, why do I bring this up? Because there's a paper about space stuff. Is it related to space stuff? I think it is, personally. I think it's totally related to space stuff. Let's see what. There are only 4 people commented. I know I saw this somewhere else with more comments. So someone says, space fence? Space fence, space fence. What do you think, Frank? Frank doesn't say very much. Space fence would make sense, but they're doing something that has frequencies or waves or something that could bring down a plane. So they're saying don't fly there. So space stuff. Interesting, right? All right. The acoustic mystery of Peron Kirku. This is, or the Devil's Church. This I came up last time, and I said I'm going to look into it a little bit more and see what it says. And if we pull up the little linky link, it has these special acoustics. Let me see if I can find the actual description of what the acoustics do with this cancerous site. So the way that the cave is designed is it has resonance as you walk through it, and it has a very specific frequency. So it was designed in an incredibly specific way, and it would have been a sound phenomenon. People would have I think they would have liked it. They probably would have interpreted it as the presence of spirits, in my opinion. Let me see if someone said something in the other community. Nope, nobody said anything about it. So that's the acoustics. It will be in the links if you want to read more about it. It's a crevice cave, but people would climb into it and I guess. But who knows what ancient beliefs or rituals people of the past had. I mean, certainly the stuff that we have today is very strange. I'm going to skip this one. If anyone knows anything about this, you'll know why I'm skipping it. I think I talked about this place before, and then I sort of like went, ooh, and my brain made the Windows shutdown noise. We were talking about the district of Perm in Krai, Russia, where there's Permian, there's a special kind of geology where like some of the oldest like rock in the world is in it. People believe that it results in heightened phenomena like UFOs. In fact, if we look at the images, I think I've showed this to you before. There's an alien monument. And if we go to here, the village of Malakopia, or Area 51, it's a Russian Area 51, is a weird area in the Russian taiga that, according to Forbes, is among the 8 best places to hunt for extraterrestrials. There are numerous reports of mysterious flying objects of different sizes and forms, glowing balls, and human-shaped figures. In addition, some people claim they felt like they were floating in the air or heard weird, out-of-this-world sounds while exploring the area. RT's Konstantin Rozov traveled to Molokopia to determine whether these reports held water. So it's known as the Perm Triangle. Some people believe that it is a place of power, much like Sedona. People will go there and lay on the ground. I think, oh yeah, look, see, there's a guy laying on the ground. I do think there are places that have power, for sure. I'm not sure how that all works, but I do believe there are places where some weird stuff can happen. I mean, think about it. If there can be like an entire like sort of radiation lightning storm before an earthquake that is released, there's probably all sorts of phenomena. Maybe even stuff we can't even see. Maybe it's on a total different frequency. Maybe it's quantum. Right? This is this guy is known as Stalker. He's the most experienced guide. You can contact him. I think it's in the links if you want to go to Molokopia and hire him. And this lady talked about it. I saw it last year. At first, I thought it was the forest burning. This is right where the zone is across the river. Then the saucer went down, twisted like this. This is the first time I've seen it. And then someone said they were healed by a pine tree. Okay, now we're getting really far out there. Okay, now we're going to keep it going. See, I look for the bees one freaking time, and now I'm going to get this forever and ever and ever. I'm going to have to deliberately look up stuff just to make that go away. That's awful. This is a surrealist painter that I particularly like. I think his work, he incorporates a lot of architectural and natural world elements, such as elements, and he sort of juxtaposes them. Like this is a very beautiful one. This is probably my favorite. This is really nice. It's a really hard thing to do, to paint a body doing stuff. This is that site again. I think I showed you guys this already, but we can go to any of these and we could look at some stuff. Expressionism, Baroque, Renaissance, Realism. What do we want to look at, guys? Let's put on some music. All right. Sorry, naked person. Retro art. Modernism. Let's look at retro art. I'm feeling that right now. What? Here we go. This is some retro art. This is like not as exciting as I thought. I thought it would be. So let's get out of there. Let's go somewhere else. What else can we look at as we get out of here? I'm not sure how I feel about this music. It's kind of making me feel a little nervous, right? A little anxious. Aggressive trap. Abstract electronic. No, upbeat dance. That might work, right? Upbeat dance. Let's see. This is another artist I found this week. Arnaud Alemani is this particular painting. And this I feel like I've had that dream. I'm just like on a plane in the woods. Swear to God. I have it at least once a month. Yeah, I'm not feeling that either. Guys, we got to go out on a good note. I can't let you be hanging with this shitty music. Okay. I'm just going to talk randomly while I look for something to take us out. So, this week, we're all going to straighten up a little, right? And we're going to do the thing. Whatever the thing is that we're putting off, that we're avoiding, that's causing us stress, we're going to do the thing. Or we're going to take steps to do the thing. I struggle with, oh, well, I didn't do it, so therefore I failed. Rather than recognize, okay, I didn't fail. I prepped the canvas. I got out the paints. So I'm sort of getting there. I just have to work a little bit more. Now, I hope to have actually episode 50 out pretty quickly. And I'm going to try to do some editing stuff. And it's probably going to be really silly, which is why I'm doing it, because it'll make everybody laugh. It's, it's funny. It's funny, of course. So, as we go out, I want to remind everyone to pay attention to your mental health. This time of the year, it gets dark early. It's rainy, it's cold, the schedule gets off because of the holidays, there's money stress. So it's very important that we stay centered and that we do the best we can to try to sort of keep our chin up. And if we can't keep our chin up, we say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to make it any worse. I'm just going to hold fast right here. Then you go take a nap, you take a walk, you watch a movie, you eat some ice cream, which is not great, but it's like there's obviously worse things that you could do. Anyhow, I appreciate every single one that watches these videos, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys soon. Oh, boy. See, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. If I edited, I could completely cut this part out. But because I don't know how to edit and I don't know what to do, that part is going to be in there where I hit the pause button thinking I was going to pause myself. But actually, I paused the music because I'm a freaking space cadet. And with that,